Hi, and welcome to Ancestral Recall. I'm Eli Kaplan, telling my Magic the Gathering stories because my stories are best stories. Today's story, my first deck. I started playing Magic in spring of 1993. In a few months, my Magic history will be able to drink alcohol at the bar in the US. And if I lived in Europe, okay, my Magic history would be a homeless bum living drunk on the beach at Nice. I bought about 2 boxes or so of Unlimited, and I traded like a mofo to get this deck together. Behold. Okay, here's the mana. 4 Dark Ritual. So cool, the Nazgul. Okay, it was a bit of a ripoff of Tolkien. We got 18 Swamps and 4 Soul Ring. It was a different day. The spells. 4 Icy Manipulator. The blackest artifact in Alpha Beta Unlimited. Look at the frames! It's the frickin' Lochnar! 4 Royal Assassin. I prefer the French one, Assassin Royale, with cheese. 4 Nightmare. This card is metal. Not the best fatty, but it is friggin' metal. 4 Hypnotic Specter, the thing you absolutely want on turn 1 with Dark Ritual. 4 Mind Twist. Ooh! I feel so guilty about it. It's like looking at your homework from 2nd grade and seeing the punctuation and handwriting. Ugh. 4 Sengir Vampire. Classy. 4 Drain Life. This card is better than Fireball, or at least that's what I swore at the time. 1 Will-O-Wisp. Yeah. 2 Demonic Tutor. Black was the most badass color at the time. It was about destruction, decimation, decay. Let's face it, words that start with DE at the beginning are cool. And it was in your freaking face. Demonic Hordes, Word of Command, Silence! And Lord of the Pit. Oh. I mean, talk about nightmare fuel. But hey, swinging for 7 in the air with Trample, some good. Funny story. I had a Mox Chet, but I didn't want to play it in this deck because it didn't help Nightmare. You can see the deck list in the video details. I made it after we heard of the 4 of rule on Usenet, which was a text-only bulletin board system on the internet that was the major source for Magic info in '93. The internet was a completely different beast than it is now. Our local store had arguments about the restricted list. Moxen were restricted. Black Lotus was restricted. Sure, we all agreed on that. Ancestral Recall and Time Walk, almost nobody had those. Either that or someone was hoarding them. Anyway, I didn't have them, so I threw this together, and this is raw black power. What rules did we choose not to use? No ante. Forget ante. People freaked out about playing for ante. Enough said. We also didn't have a Mulligan rule, so lots of games were just boring. There was lots of mana screw, especially since nobody was very good at building mana bases. What is this sideboard that you speak of? There was no such thing in 1993. Also, there was no play-draw rule. The guy who won the roll played first and drew on his first turn. It was a huge advantage, and I'm so glad that the current rule has existed for such a long time today. God, you know, I love drawing in limited formats.
Also, we had to walk in the snow to the game store. Uphill! Both ways!
Looking back at the deck, it's easy to feel nostalgic. I kept playing it in a few more tournaments that spring and summer, and I kept tuning it. My brother picked up 3 Juzum Jins for 50 cents each, since right after Arabians came out, nobody wanted to play with them, and he let me borrow them. When Hymn to Toraat came out with Fallen Empires, oh man, that was a serious boost. The deck was ludicrous, just having that much more cheap discard. It was broken. Nowadays, I feel guilty about it, though. Discard is, in my opinion, the worst feel-bad mechanic in Magic. And even today, I don't like playing decks with a serious discard component in any constructed format. Limited? Okay, fair game and limited. Non-constructed. Mind Twist, wow. I mean, it was the king of discard spells. Think about this play. Turn 1, you go first, and let's say you don't draw the card even though you go first. And you go Swamp, Dark Ritual, Soul Ring, Dark Ritual, Mind Twist for 5 on turn 1. You're left with a Swamp and Soul Ring on the table, and yeah, you know, you've only got 3 cards in hand, but your opponent starts off with 2 cards in hand. Not cool. Not cool. I'm glad this type of cruelty lies in the past, although, to be fair, Wizards reprinted Hypnotic Specter in 9th edition, and without Dark Ritual in the environment, it didn't do anything. It wasn't that hard to deal with. You know, when you're playing fair Magic with spells being cast at appropriate times, like, Hypnotic Specter isn't that rough. Every once in a while, I roll out a version of this deck in Magic Online's casual room. If you want to try play against it, track me down. My Magic Online username's Turbo Eli. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. You can follow me on Twitter. You can add me on Facebook. And if you want to share your story of your first deck, hey, go for it. Comments are below, people. This is not just about me. This is a chance for you guys to share your memories. There are more stories to come, but we're going to leave it here today. This is Eli Kaplan for Ancestral Recall, signing off. Good games, and good luck.